Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com and Roguedeckbuilder.com here with the match number 1 with Immortals of the Forge is what I'm going to call this deck with the Perforos Immortal Servitude combo. I won the die roll. Yes, I'd like to play first. Let's see how this opening hand is. Not a bad opening hand. This is a very good opening hand. I can play a second turn spike. Look at all the spike gestures. No, I'd not like to mulligan here. So Golgari Gilgate can come into play tapped, and I'll burn myself for Stomping Grounds turn number 2. Our opponent has to mulligan a 6. So we're going to go ahead and have that play. I'm thinking about using more guild gates like Rakdos guild gates or the temples, but I'm really a little hesitant of having so many comes into play tap lands. That's why I'm using the 5 of basic lands instead. So Golgari guild gate's going to come into play tapped. We do need to generate 3 black mana at least for this deck to be able to cast Immortal Servitude. So again, this is a very untested deck. I'm sure there's going to have kinks at first. It took me a while to make the bug Immortal Servitude actually as competitive, actually tuned, and so I'm thinking it's going to take me a while to make this deck tuned as well. It looks like we're going to be going up in Esper Control. This is going to be a very sweet draw against Esper Control, as this allows us to get in there for 3 damage right off the bat. This is their turn 2 Nightmare, as he's going to have a cure next turn to take care of this dude. And again, I'm just going to Spike Gesture the next turn as well. He's going to clear the board. He's going to eventually Supreme Verdict or do what he needs to do to clear my board, and I'm going to draw in that Immortal Servitude, and hopefully that will be the win. So I'm going to... There's Perforos. That's going to be awesome. I'm going to not pay 2 life on this one. Again, what we're going to do is Spike Jester. He can Essence Scatter this. He does not have it. I don't think there's anything in the format... He can have a Warp Physique. That's the only thing I think he could have in his hand that can kill off a Spike Jester. So we're going to need it for 6. He's going to be down to 11 unless he has an answer for this. He does not. He's in very, very terrible shape. As, again, next turn we got another Spike Jester that can come for the beatdown, and we also have Time Merit that can give us some range. So it is Esper Control. I was right there. He has to shock himself. It's going to be a Detention Sphere on the Spike Jester, which is going to be horrible. Saw that coming a mile away, but it's going to allow me to get in for another 3, or if I draw into land, I get to stick this Perforos. I probably will want to just go for the Spike Jester, as it will. I mean, a red will also give me Time Merit, so we'll see how we want to do that. So I'm going to bring in the Abrupt Decays for sure, and well, maybe not the Golgari Charm. So I have a Grizzly Salvage that could actually go get me. Yeah, this is going to be the play. So I'm going to Grizzly Salvage here. So I need to go get, and hopefully I don't just completely fail here. I can either get a red for Ash Zealot or a black, and it's got to be a non-guild gate though, so I could just miss here. This could be the worst thing in the world. There's a black. Yeah, it's gonna be just a black. I don't need the Overgrown Tomb, so I don't need to take damage, but he's an Esper deck. Maybe I don't even care. Maybe I'd rather have this dual land for just the sake of having more options. So I'm going to take this Overgrown Tomb and play this, and we're going to burn ourselves. And Spike Jester number 2 or number 3 comes out. He's going to be down to a 6, and this is going to put him on pretty bad options next turn. He has to find a answer for the Spike Jester. I was hoping to find a red source there for this Ash Zealot, but we'll be okay. He's down to 6. I mean, I'd love to play a little bit of burn in here, so we could actually draw into a burn. He might have to Detention Sphere again. Yep, so he has to burn a Detention Sphere on another Spike Jester. So the Golgari Charms are going to be lovely, and this is going to allow me 100% to drop a Perforos here. So just have to draw into ooh, I know this is actually, you know what, we're actually going to do this instead. Well, I'm just going to drop a Perforos, and then the following turn we're going to do this little combo here with the Burning Tree Emissary and Ash Zealot. So Perforos comes out. Now he absolutely has to find another Detention Sphere or something to get rid of my hand. He could drop a Jace here, but a Jace isn't going to do it. And he can counter one of them. If he counters the Burning Tree Emissary, that's a little bit problematic. Golgari Guildgate, that gives us another... it's not a red source, but... I mean, he really has to counter this, and I still have a Temerit. So Burning Emissary, the cool thing is you can use double green. And, ooh, I can do Ash Zealot now, and that'll actually put me at Devotion. 1, 2, yep. He's got to counter this. Oh, I think that is going to be game. And I've got one floating green that doesn't do much. So, yes, we'd like to advance. Declare attackers. And this is, what turn is this? Turn 5? And he can Azorius Charm the Perforos, which looks like what's he going to do? Ultimate Price and Azorius Charm? Okay, so he's able to Ultimate Price that off, and immediately my god goes down to no loyalty. So he's got a, what, Supreme Verdict here? Supreme Verdict, so he dies here to my Temerit. And he had a nice little hand here. You can't complain about this Esper. He did struggle on one land. I believe he did miss a land drop. But look at that. Detention Sphere, Ultimate Price, Supreme Verdict. Yeah, this is Esper. This is a draw with Esper. He got the double white for the Supreme Verdict. This is definitely a draw that Esper Control loves. So there's a Stomping Grounds. We don't need it anymore because this will do it right here with the Temerit. It'll come in and it will do that last bit of damage. Kaboom. Alrighty, so I mean, again, I could bring in Abrupt Decays for the Detention Spheres, but the best thing is Golgari Charm. This is going to do two things. It's going to protect us against the Supreme Verdicts. I don't need Putrefies. Lot of the Trolls are actually very, very good against the Supreme Verdicts. So are Pack Rats, as it'll allow me to get in there for more. So I really have to think. I may not need, like, Commune with the Gods. I may not need to fill up my graveyard as much. And so I could definitely take out the Commune with the Gods, which I believe on the play, how do I want to go about this? I mean, the hasters are really good. I think I'm going to not go the Pack Rat route, and I'm not going to bring in the Lot of the Trolls. And at this point, on the play, I think I can afford to take out a land and one Grizzly Salvage and go to 21 lands. And this will allow us to, yeah, I think that we're going to try that. We're going to go down to 21 lands and take out a Grizzly Salvage and try to get him there. And we had a pretty sweet draw as well. So let's see how this works. If this seriously can 2-0 an Esper deck, that was a great hand with Esper. I was on the play. This is another sick hand. Very, very sick hand. We got both our kill conditions. We got 3 lands. No Anotic Bolus. We got double black. Don't like this Singleton Forest. And at this point, this is where a Guildgate would be better because these can come into play untapped. No, I'd not like to mulligan. And he gets to scry 1. So this is going to give him, this is definitely going to give him some time to, and he puts it on top. So he found a card that he wanted to go on top. Does not scry away something unnecessary. So let's see what we draw into here. Golgari Charm's going to be great for his Detention Spheres. So since we have an untappable, or comes into play without doing us damage for us, we'll play the Blood Crypt first. And no, we'd not like to play 2 life. Again, we got Spike Jester that can come out. And again, these counter spells are going to be absolutely horrible when, or his removal, when I do draw into that last black and the Immortal Servitude to get everything back. So this is the dream matchup. I don't see Esper Control really being able to handle this deck. So, yeah, I mean, it might. They'd really have to go incredible. Oh, I really want that to work. So can I actually... No, so Burning Emissary does not give me any sort of... Like, Burning Emissary can't do it into Ash Zealot. So the right move here is to Overgrown Tomb, shock myself, and... our little buddy Spike Jester, which he's sick of seeing, I'm sure, is going to attack in. Man, Esper really needs a removal, 1-mana removal. It really needs a Tragic Slip before I really think it's going to be a viable. I mean, Esper's been doing okay in tournaments, but I think it really, 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 really needs a 1-drop for aggro. Because Esper is really, really bad against red deck wins. And Red Deck Wins is losing popularity due to Mono Black Devotion and Mono Blue Devotion being good against them. But, I mean, these decks, Esper Control is really good against those 2 decks, Mono Black and Mono Blue Devotion. And it's going to be this rock, paper, scissors little mind game with the spikes to whoever can figure out what their matchups are going to be the best, because Esper, like I said, beats those mono blue and mono black devotions, but then the red deck wins farms that, and it's just this cycle, this big rock paper scissors cycle. All right, so I've got a little bit of options here. He could have an Azorius Charm. I think that we actually can Spike Jester number 2 or Ash Zealot number 2. So, I mean, I could be walking into a Supreme Verdict, though, if I do it this way. So if a Burning Tree Emissary, that'll add a black. We're going to leave the Spike Jester back, so I'm going to Burning Tree Emissary, and this could definitely get countered. He could dissolve this. Now, he'll more likely dissolve the Ash Zealot. No, he does not. So, begin attacks. We're going to declare attackers. And I'm sure one of these is going to get Azorius Charmed. Or Ultimate Priced. This guy can get Ultimate Priced. Hero's Downfall on the Spike Jester. Okay. So he takes 2 still, goes down to 15. We're applying the pressure. He definitely can Supreme Verdict next turn, but then that allows me to Spike Jester again. And like I said, it's the Immortal Servitude that eventually is going to get us there. So I'm feeling really good about this. Jace could come out here too. So not Supreme. So it is Jace. So we could actually kill Jace. And I'm going to give him the Hero's Downfall if he wants the Hero's Downfall. I could care less about the other Jace. I think I'm just going to smack into him rather than kill Jace. So I'm going to give him his 2 Planeswalkers. I'm not going to give him a Hero's Downfall. I don't want him to have any sort of removal. And he does take those. Those are 2 slow cards in his hand that I could care less about. I'm definitely going to attack into him next turn. Hopefully draw into another land. Maybe I will kill a Jace because it makes him cast another one. So, yeah, that's probably going to be the right play. Awesome. So we find we again needed the red. So I go Perforos and stick that Perforos, which I think I'm going to. So we're going to kill off Jace. And do 2 to him. Now he's got to cast another Jace next turn. Elspeth is going to be a little bit problematic. But we have the Golgari Charm for it, though, so not too bad. And going to stick this Perforos. And he's actually active right now, which is really cool. So now he's either got a Detention Sphere. I mean, he could have an Ultimate Price and a Detention Sphere in his hand, so he D-Spheres and Ultimate Price. That's probably the best he can do, but it looks like you have Detention Sphere on Perforos. So I'm glad I baited that out. And again, he still could land a... In fact, I can just D-Sphere. I can just Golgari Charm. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Golgari Charm to the Detention Sphere, or I could wait for a Supreme Verdict. I mean, I could just tack in. But the right play is going to be, I'm going to Golgari Charm, destroy target enchantment on the Detention Sphere. Unfortunately, Perforos has Summoning Sickness again, so I'm not going to be able to attack with him. But I am going to be able to get in for 2 damage with the Spike Jester off the Perforos. Declare attacks. And get in here for 7. He's down to a 4. He is in really, really terrible shape. He's got to top into that Supreme Verdict. Yeah, I'm not sure what he could do here. He's got to, like, maybe try to flood the board with an Elspeth. Nope, he cannot do it. And he cannot Supreme Verdict now. So, yeah, I really think this is a win. So this is awesome. I get a deck that's actually good against my hated control matchup. So very easy 2-0. That wasn't even close. He didn't have a horrible hand that turn too. Again, these Scrylands came in to play tapped and did slow him down a lot. And we did have a very nice draw again. So it's going to take a lot of testing. But so far, so good. 1-0. And it was a very, very strong showing. This is Kevin with GatheringMagic.com and RogueDeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.